Hello and a very warm welcome to another edition of Talking Germany, the show where we do just that. And my guest today is the frontwoman of the very popular German band Juli. And here she is in person, Eva Briegel.
Hello.
Many thanks for joining us today here on Talking Germany. It's a great pleasure. Now, Eva, with her silky, seductive voice, and her band, with their well-crafted pop rock, have put out 3 albums in the last few years, and all of them have had lyrics in German and not English, which is always a big talking point here in Germany. What's more, all of them have hit the top 5 in the German album charts, so you can look forward to hearing some good music on the show, while I'm looking forward to hearing what Eva has to say about the following topics. In the spotlight, from very early on, Eva Briegel dreamt of becoming a singer. So, after years of success, what can she tell us about the rewards and the strains? Pressure cooker. We go to one of Berlin's trendiest districts, once charmingly unspoilt, to hear about how the huge influx of upwardly mobile families is stirring up conflict. And pop across borders. Germany's Goethe Institute has a long tradition of using popular music to promote the German language and culture. We find out how. You've been smiling and you've been humming while you've been listening to some of the music already. Did you like my description of your voice as silky and seductive? You like that?
Yeah,
yes, very much. I grew up hearing music sung by strong, powerful women, and I'd had enough of the strong voices and strong images of women, because that kind of strength is a bit superficial. Really rocking out like that on stage was just a bit too much for me.
So who were these people that you say you grew up with?
When I first started listening to music, for instance, Melissa Etheridge was just out. And then there were Tina Turner and Gianna Nannini and all those women who performed with a lot of attitude on stage. It was just too much for me.
So you were deliberately looking for a softer delivery?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I thought it was just a nicer sound. To me, it sounds more honest and natural. I think music is a little like ballet. It's nice when you can't see or hear the effort. It's easier to get into it, easier to relax into. Otherwise, it grabs hold of me and I tense up and start thinking, why is that woman screaming at me? What's that all about?
Wow, some very interesting first impressions there from Eva Briegel. She's giggling away again. Here is more.
Eva Briegel, the face and the voice behind German pop band Juli, founded a decade ago. In the fast-paced world of music, 10 years is practically a lifetime. With her 4-man band, Eva Briegel has released 3 albums to date. The latest is called In Love. Their debut single from 2004 catapulted the band from the city of Gießen onto the German charts. Their recipe for success, catchy pop with lyrics sung in German. Eva Briegel was 25 years old when the band hit it big. She decided to drop out of university and focus on her art. More than a lead singer, she also co-writes the lyrics and melodies and gave the band its name, Juli, or July, evoking sun and summer. Her life now revolves around concert tours and the media spotlight. Although she's passionate about books and loves horseback riding, these days Eva Briegel has little time to spare. With a following across Europe, in 2006, the band won the European Border Breakers Award. The second album climbed to the top of the German charts, proving that Juli was more than a one-summer flash in the pan. But after a marathon concert tour, Eva Briegel and her bandmates realized they were burnt out. In 2008, they decided to take a year off from music and from each other. Eva Briegel left Gießen and moved to Berlin to be with her boyfriend, who's also a musician. In spring 2010, shortly before the release of their third album In Love, her daughter Yoko was born. Juli remains a true collaboration with Eva Briegel as the dynamic frontwoman, a talented musician who's also a committed vegetarian and animal rights activist. And today she's our guest on Talking Germany, Eva Briegel.
That's a very nice report. We've got the whole Eva Briegel story so far. Yeah, let's go back to your early days when you were talking about your early influences and you making your first steps as a singer. When you were a teenager, what kind of teenager were you? Were you an angry teenager?
No.
No.
Nein. Nee, war ich nicht. Also
No,
ich war eigentlich
I wasn't.
sehr,
I think I was pretty clever for my age, perhaps uncomfortably so. I read a lot, I taught myself a lot. I read pretty much anything I could get my hands on.
Eigentlich alles gelesen, was ich so
Oh, and I
kriegen
was
konnte.
really into grunge.
Grunge hat bei mir sehr reingehauen. Und ich war
Kurt
eher so
Cobain?
Ja.
Yeah, we just had the 20th anniversary of Nevermind. Yeah.
Ja.
Yeah.
Also ich war völlig into
I was really
Seattle
into the
und
Seattle
Grunge
scene
und,
and grunge.
immer
My
so
sleeves
lange
were always
Ärmel
too
und
long
so
and I was
ganz
slouching all the
schief
time.
und,
It was perfect for the phase I was in and
das hat
complemented my
irgendwie
nature.
zu meiner Phase gepasst und zu meinem Naturell.
I was kind of
Und,
self-destructive,
ich war
much
eher
more
so ein bisschen
introspective than outward
eher
looking.
selbstdestruktiv und nicht so nach außen, sondern sehr nach
You
innen.
were self-destructive.
Ja.
How did that express itself?
Naja, in dieser
Oh, with that teenage
Teenager-Melancholie,
melancholy,
dass man sich
when you lock
eigentlich
yourself in a room and
viel
write a
schreibt
lot and
und
light
tanzt
candles and
und,
feel
und
bad
sich
and ugly.
fühlt und sich hässlich fühlt und
All the normal stuff. Yeah.
Yes, all that normal teenage stuff.
Okay, but you broke out of it. You went away. You left home. You. I'm not sure when did you meet the guys in the band? That was what age was that? What stage?
I
was
would
that?
have been 21 or 22.
21 oder 22.
Okay, so you got together with the guys in the band and you started making music, started writing songs in English initially, yeah? Why do young Germans write songs in English?
Weil alle Vorbilder
Because all our
Englisch
role
sind.
models
Also
sing in
alles, was
English.
man an Deutsch gehört hat,
The music that was being
war
recorded
nicht
in
so, dass
German
man-
wasn't the way
dass
we
man sich
wanted to
daran
go.
orientieren wollte. Da gab's ja
Much of
irgendwie
it fell
großen
into the
Bereich
Schlager
Schlager.
category.
Und dann gab's
And then there
eben
was
den
German
Deutschrock,
rock.
also
Bands
das,
I
was
like
ich jetzt
now,
gut
like
finde, was
DAF
es auch
or
gab, so wie
Goldene
DAF oder
Zitronen,
Goldene Zitronen
existed
oder
back
sowas,
then,
davon hatte
but I
ich
hadn't
was
yet heard of
gehört.
them.
Es gab halt Maffei
There was
und,
Maffei, Grunemeyer and Westernhagen,
und
but that wasn't the kind of stuff we
Grönemeyer,
wanted to
Westernhagen,
do,
das war halt
because
nicht
we were young and
unbedingt das,
wild
wo
and
wir
wanted
hin
something
wollten,
fresh
weil
and
wir jung
new.
waren und wild und was Frisches
Not that
wollten,
slow,
und das war dann
earthy
eben
blues
dieser
rock.
erdige, langsame
So we listened to
Bluesrock.
what was coming out
Und
of
dann hat man
America,
natürlich
to
immer
what they were
geguckt,
doing on the
Amerika,
West
was
Coast,
machen
what
die
they were
da an der
playing on
West
college
Coast, was
radio.
spielen die College
And we thought it
Radios.
was interesting,
Und das fanden
and
wir
it seemed to make
interessant.
sense to us to sing in English.
Es nah auf Englisch zu singen.
But at some stage you decided you did want to do it in German, and you were part of almost a movement, certainly a trend in German pop rock. There were a lot of bands who suddenly decided we're going to do this in German. What was that all about? What was going on there?
Man muss sich nur die
You only
deutschen,
have to
die
hear
englischen
English lyrics
Texte mal
translated into
übersetzt
German to
anhören.
understand
Dann weiß man
why.
ganz genau, warum.
It's just
Da
a
wird
bunch
ein
of nonsense.
Schwachsinn gesungen die ganze Zeit.
We thought it would be more interesting if
Und
the
wir
music
fanden-
provided two
wir fanden
levels
es
right from the
einfach
first
interessant,
listening,
wenn sofort auf
that the
den
focus
aufs
wouldn't be
erste Mal
solely
hören,
on the
eine
music,
zweite
but on the
Ebene
lyrics as
geliefert
well.
wird, dass der Fokus eben so ein bisschen natürlich auch auf
It's
der Musik
obvious
liegt,
that when
aber eben
German
auch auf
listeners
dem
hear a
Text.
song with
Das ist,
German lyrics, they have access to another
ganz
level.
klar, dass
The
bei
song has
deutschen-
more
bei
meaning
deutschen
right from the
Texten
first
der
time they
Sänger
hear
gleich
it.
aufs erste
And
Mal
that's not the
hören,
case with
eine
songs
zweite
sung in English.
Ebene oder eine Bedeutungsebene mitbekommt, die jetzt nicht so da ist, wenn es auf Englisch ist.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to talking about English-German lyrics and the transition. Certainly, we're going to listen to one of your songs now. We're going to look at a video clip, and it's for your track "Süchtig." That's a wonderful German word. Yeah, you can say "süchtig." Yeah, it's got a lot of flavour, hasn't it? Yeah. Do you know the English translation for that?
Addictive?
Addicted, yeah,
Addicted?
or hooked as well.
Das ist
Both
aber
of
That's
those.
also a good word because a lot happens in the throat. It's great to sing. Addicted already has a rhythm of its own.
Okay. So she likes Addicted. Hooked, I think, is good as well. That's got a lot of flavour. Let's listen to the clip. This from the last album, In Love. English words, In Love, you might have noticed. The song, Süchtig, Hooked. Here we go.
Du verdrehst meine Welt und ich hab keine Wahl.
OK, I've got to help the English audience with the message there. It's sort of, I can't live without you. You are my everything, and I'm hooked and I'm addictive about your personality. Did you write it, or was it written for you?
I was co-writer. My guitarist,
yeah.
my guitarists, Entschuldigung.
Yeah.
Meine Gitarristen schreiben.
Yeah.
Und,
My guitar players work on the songs, and I do too. We swap ideas and then flesh them out. It works in both directions. Either I have an idea and they flesh it out, or the other way round. There's a track on the album, for example, called In Love. It goes, everyone's in Paris, only I'm in love. All I had was that one line, and my guitar player saw it scribbled on a scrap of paper and said, "That's great. I'm going to take that and make a song out of it." And that's the way it works sometimes.
Are you an addictive person?
Ja.
To what?
To everything.
Really? That's how you work, yeah?
Also ich bin schon jemand, der sich in so Sachen...
I'm definitely the kind of person who can become completely absorbed. And that's good because I'm also very easily distracted. And if I have too many things on my mind, I'm definitely not a multitasker. I can't do that at all. When I have something to do, I have to focus on it. And I have to get really deeply involved in it. And that's very hard for my family because I've always got my mind on something else. I get really drawn in, really addicted. That's even true with people. When I meet someone I like, then I think they're the greatest.
Dann ist das die tollste Person und, oder neue Hobbys.
The same's true of new hobbies and things like that. I want to have it all and be able to do it all right away. I'm very obsessive like that. Or maybe I simply, I just want all of it, the whole thing. And then once the passion passes or it's been sucked dry, I can let it go again.
Ausgesaugt, keine Ahnung, und dann kann ich es auch wieder gehen lassen.
Eva lives here in the German capital, Berlin, a very mellow place for the most part. However, there are tensions, as in any city, not least at the moment in the area where Eva lives, the fashionable central district of Prenzlauer Berg.
The problem is that
it's become very expensive and the demographic is changing, but that happens all the time. It used to be a really affordable district where lots of artists lived. That's one of the reasons I moved there, because a lot of my friends were there.
When did you move there? Just
in 2007. And by then you could say its moment had already passed. It was the same story as everywhere. Gentrification, rising rents, long-established residents slowly getting pushed out. I understand that it makes people mad, but I think it's ridiculous to consider families and little kids the enemy. I've noticed how annoyed my friends who don't have kids have become. They get really angry about the number of strollers clogging things up. You can't go into any cafe or any shop. Every woman you see has a kid with her, or she's pregnant or has 2 kids.
Jede Frau hat ein Kind dabei oder ist schwanger oder hat 2.
We should just tell our viewers out there, and as far as I know, the area that you live in, Prenzlauer Berg, has got the highest birth rate in the whole of Germany. And Germany's a country that's got very low birth rates, so it's a big deal, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you experienced, I mean, the kind of aggression that we've seen there in that report, you've experienced that at first hand?
Before I got pregnant, I always imagined that pregnant women were treated differently, that people on the subway would offer their seats, things like that. But you can't expect that in Prenzlauer Berg. You can count yourself lucky not to get pushed off a bridge, because people really aren't very gracious around pregnant women. There are just too many of them. And people don't have the patience to constantly help out with strollers. The atmosphere has changed. The stereotype is that the young parents come from families that have a lot of money, or that they themselves earn a lot of money, and they're all very egocentric. They act entitled, and they have the attitude, these are my kids, or this is my family, make space for it.
da müssen jetzt alle Platz machen. So. Und das ist halt schon
It's dangerous because it's clearly a very, very negative image.
Was auch sehr, sehr unsympathisch ist natürlich.
Is it going to get better or worse?
Es wird gerade wieder ein bisschen besser.
It's getting a bit better at the moment because families are starting to move away because it's too full or because there are too many children there. But in my circle of friends and acquaintances, the mood is really bad. In that sense, it's getting worse.
Die sind schon sehr brastig, so.
Okay.
Also das wird schlimmer.
The tensions are still there. Okay. Okay, we're going to move along now. We've been talking about, what have we been talking about? Prams and prejudices. Now we're going to talk about culture and language, about Germany's cultural organisation, the Goethe Institute, which has the job of showcasing Germany's culture and language to the rest of the world. And for a couple of decades now, one of the best ways to do that has been by using German popular music.
Punk icon Nina Hagen as a German teacher.
Deutsch lernen isn't that terrible complicated. It's ganz einfach.
In fact, learning German can be quite simple. This unusual lesson features vocabulary drawn from German rock and pop.
Da, da.
Ba 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 ba.
In the 1980s, the Goethe Institute discovered that pop music was a good way to reach young people everywhere in the world. The universal language of pop culture and youth instead of dry grammar lessons.
Gut, gut, super gut. Ja, ja, ist alles super gut. Na, ich bin geil. Du bist geil. Wir sind geil. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
The result was a successful project on the history of German rock music. In 1988, the exhibition and the accompanying language course on film began touring Goethe Institutes across the world. It was aimed at a young audience, teens between 12 and 17 years of age, and was so successful that there were 2 follow-up versions.
Kindergarten und
Kraftwerk, the techno pioneers. New German wave bands. And post-industrial rockers like the Einstürzende Neubauten. They were the new emissaries for German culture, a far cry from mainstays like Goethe, Schiller and Bach. Since then, the Goethe Institute has been sending German pop and rock bands around the world. Nowadays, some of them sing in English, like Jacuzzi from Berlin. Cultural ambassadors with a bit of an edge that get people dancing to the beat in places like Nairobi. Or the neo-medieval band Corvus Corax wowing audiences in Gwangju. Collaborative projects with local groups are on the lesson plans as well. On the Trans-Siberian Railway, Cologne-based DJ Hans Nieswan joined up with young Russian musicians to jam to new techno tracks, ending up in Novosibirsk, home of the newest Goethe Institute. Cultural exchange through music, combining entertainment with instruction.
They say guten Tag and they say auf Wiedersehen. Prost und auf Wiedersehen, Germany.
What do you say about that report? There's some interesting German acts there, yeah?
Very.
Any favourites of yours?
I just saw Jacuzzi in the report and I was a bit surprised because they're really more subculture. They're not so well known. I think it's great.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of them before. Yeah, they look good though. Yeah. I would like to, I mean, what one wonders is this project, it looks very interesting, but the question is, does it work? Yeah, and I know you're the right person to ask. Yeah, because you've been there.
Ja.
Yeah, you went to Nanjing?
Ja, wir waren in
Yes,
China,
we were in
genau.
China.
In 2007?
Ja.
Okay.
Ja, ich glaube.
Let's just have a look at some photos. There we are. Yeah, tell us what we can see here, Eva.
Das war die
It was
Deutsche
German
Woche.
Week in Nanjing.
Das war genau in Nanjing und das war so, da waren
And we were
mit,
there with Tella
mit
and
Tele
Mia,
und mit Mia,
2 other German bands.
auch 2 deutsche Bands.
Yeah.
Und durften da
And we
spielen
performed
an
that
diesem
evening.
Abend. Und es war sehr also es war erst so, dass wir dachten,
At first we thought,
ja, das ist
okay,
halt
it's
jetzt
just
ein
another
Konzert,
concert,
da stehen
except that the
Chinesen,
audience is
keine
Chinese
Deutsche
instead of
und,
German.
Ist halt so.
But then there were a couple of things that made us stop and think, wow, we're really in China. Like when Francesco, the frontman from Tellus, started handing out singles to the audience. Suddenly the police appeared and told him it wasn't allowed. There had to be 1 meter of free space in front of the stage. And then everyone got quiet and did what they were told. At first everyone was really boisterous and we thought it would be a great evening. And then...
Okay.
And what happened after that? What happened after the concert? Did you get the feeling that did you get access to young Chinese people? Could they tell you about their interest for Germany?
We exchanged a few emails with Chinese people who can speak English. Some bands tried to translate their websites into Chinese to facilitate communication. But we didn't speak with Chinese people directly. We had more to do with the people from the Goethe Institute. I think all other contact was sort of discouraged.
Yeah, interesting. Very quickly, 2 quick questions, because we're getting tight on time. What's on the agenda for Juli in the near future?
A break, but hopefully not as long as last time. We have a couple of festival dates lined up, and then it'll be winter, and we'll lock ourselves inside and hopefully get a new album together.
OK, and we started with you as a youngster, becoming a singer. Do you want to be a singer for the rest of your days now? Your gesture says everything, Eva. OK, on that note, we're going to move on to our traditional Talking Germany quiz at the end of the show, yeah? Okay. Quick questions, quick answers. What do you prefer, summer or winter?
Summer.
I knew you were going to say that because of the band name, Juli, yeah? What makes you happier, a good lyric or a good melody?
Melody.
Recording or touring?
Recording.
When you are listening to music, do you prefer melodious stuff or something that will really shake you up?
Both.
Both. City or country?
Both.
The future of pop in Germany, is it rosy or is it still searching for the best way forward?
It's all moving ahead.
Good.
It's good.
It's good, yeah. Rosy.
There was a famous German song by a German band, Es geht voran. That's just what she's quoted almost, yeah? She's been a good guest, hasn't she, Eva Briegel? She's a singer, she's a conversationalist. If you've enjoyed her company as much as I have, do come back next week. Until then, tschüss.